Hello guys, how's it going? Still got the rubbers on, see? Going a bit light today because I was wore rubbers for, what was it, 5 till 8? So that's like 15 hours last night. So, yep, 15 hours. So, taking care of yourself to make sure that you don't get like rashes and stuff like that, particularly when you're actually renovating in rubber. Anyway, play interrupted. So a person asked about what they should do. The general scenario is that a D-type was playing with their S-type, and the D-type tried to get into a position where, you know what, they bound them in like chains and that wouldn't hurt them. So the S-type was like, so you don't seem really into it, question, their enthusiasm for the play. And they said, well, no, I'm fine, I just, want to try this and that. And still got a bit awkward, so because the S-type was like, no, so you're really not into it. So the D-type did bring them to a completion, but things have been awkward since then. And the D-type's asking, well, what should I do? How do I, should I initiate play? Should I do this? And I'm like, well, morning, cat. No, don't initiate play without having a talk. And before people get all up in arms and say, oh my God, what a bastard, they didn't, comfort the sub and all that, it is actually a female D-type with a male S-type, okay? So put all that aside. However, the result is the same. Go talk to the person. Go talk to the S-type. Say, okay, I know it was a bit awkward. I was into it. I was just distracted by the fact that I tried to get into a position where the chains wouldn't hurt me if I was doing a certain thing. And, I've got to figure out, or do you have any suggestions for better ways of, tying up with chains or binding with chains where I can do this and that, where it's not going to hurt me or prove too difficult for pinching me, because chains can pinch on the skin depending on what sort of chain, whether it's closed linked or open linked chains. So there's that. Now, play can get interrupted or things cannot go as planned all the time. The important thing when it's interrupted or it's not quite in the mood is probably at the point where he didn't seem as responsive, would have been to stop the play right there instead of bringing them to a completion or getting them an orgasm, or just finish the session off, because then it seems like a chore for them and I don't feel like you're really into it and that you're not participating. So it's much better to stop and say, okay, look, this is the problem, I want to change it up, and they can bring in suggestions. Then you can actually continue on with playing. Not always, but it's much better to stop it there and you can get feedback, or just end it right there. I guess it's nothing worse than to think that someone feels like they're, it's a chore to do something rather than being enthusiastic about it. So, what else? Also, the suggestions I can say is just actually be truthful with them. Don't just sort of pull the whole I'm a dom, you're a sub, so you got to like it thing. Just be honest and say, okay, this is the problem that I had. It was an issue. Not all play sessions will go according to plan. Something you might have, like equipment fails. You might, get a muscle cramp. Be tied up the wrong way or bound the wrong way and you get a bit dizzy. You might have had something bad to eat that day and you suddenly starting to feel sick. Things like that happen all the time, and it's important that you kind of hash out, okay, what went wrong or what did or didn't happen or make it for me in that particular session, and how to better it. And if at all possible, just stop or pause immediately and get feedback, immediate feedback. And if someone says, oh, you're not really into it, just explain why, honestly, that, something is or isn't happening. Sometimes people can, it's something for them to work through, that they need to work through that mindset and frame, that's another thing. And setting up the conditions and conditioning themselves into that frame of mind. So that could set a precedence for them being hesitant, it being awkward. But just, be open and honest, talk to them about it and why you possibly didn't seem enthused, and say, look, hey, when you see me struggle like that, it's not because I'm not enthused, it's because there's a problem that I need to overcome and I need to think about it. So that does distract from the actual play session. It doesn't have to stop it. It could mean that later on, if the sub sees the same expression on their face or awkwardness, they can just ask, oh, how about I move this and that, or do this that way, and provide suggestions, or move themselves or whatever. So have you ever been in a situation where things have got a little bit awkward in play? You've had to stop or find something else or get more things to continue the play session? I know I have. And I've just sort of said, okay, there's a reason why this sort of happened. I stopped here and there for that, and then let people know that it wasn't because I wasn't interested. It's because I was, making adjustments to what the requirements are and what I needed to do, and I do that afterwards. I basically have a debrief. I think it's important for everyone to have a debrief. So if you've had interrupted sessions or sessions where you did or didn't think it was going too well, did you have a debrief of the session, and what was the outcome? Did you make adjustments? Did you learn more about your partners that you play with? That's all very important, particularly with what it is that we do. Some of it can be really dangerous, and it can be have a negative impact on the people that you play with, not just physically but mentally and emotionally as well. Anywho, Christmas Eve, oh my god, there's lots of nice smells around South Bank at the moment, apart from petrol from the blowers and everything, but actual pollen, and I think I smell some sweet stuff like bakery pastries and stuff like that. Anyway, you guys have a happy Christmas and a smacking New Year. My go lives will be pretty random for the next week or two, but if I have anything really contemplative with my navel, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.